Hi guys, this is Olga, and I wanted to tell you more about the Project Creative Society on the platform of Allatra International Public Movement. I am a volunteer and I help spread the message about the Creative Society project so we all have a chance to live in a better society and we can all live in society that we all deserve. So this project was born because we saw that we are currently living in consumeristic type of society and that everything is done for profit and against people. So we know that we still have a lot of problems around the world and that everything we have right now actually can be solved, but we can only solve it together as a global society that comes together under one goal. And that goal is actually creative society. And creative society is built on 8 foundations. And you can learn more about the 8 foundations by visiting allatraunites.com website, and you can contact us to learn more, and you can also share your vision of how do you envision a creative society, a society where everyone is happy, a society where everyone is able to live a fulfilled lives in all spheres of life. So right now we are at the informational stage and we're getting to know people from all over the globe, and we are having this open communication and discussion about what do people really want and how we can move there in a peaceful way, and how we can have this one goal that we all strive towards and how fast we can achieve it. So join us today, the Project Creative Society, allatraunites.com. Thank you.
What is the blue economy? Well, first of all, we should say what the blue economy is not. It's not the green economy. And why don't I want the green economy? Because the green economy is still fitting in the old traditional economic market model whereby we compete globally by producing things very cheap. Now, if you want to produce cheap, then you're going to have to cut corners, environmental corners and social corners. And so how can you ever have a green economy that is responding to people's needs when you have to be cheap? So the result is that whatever we have in the green economy, what is good for you and good for the environment, is actually a green economy that is expensive, because it can't be the cheapest, because you do take care of the environment and you do take care of social matters and the community and the society, and so therefore you must be more expensive. But if your green economy is more expensive than the other economy, then you're only for the rich. And that's why we needed to have the blue economy. The blue economy where we work with what we have. We focus on responding to basic needs with what we have, and we will generate more and more value. And by generating more value with what we have, we will be able to respond to all these basic needs. And we're substituting efficiency with resilience. Now we can build up communities because they have all basic needs met. And since you have multiple benefits and multiple revenues from the same all at once, things will turn out to be cheaper. You can even decide that some of the things that are very important in society can be for free. The blue economy is focusing on responding to needs. Be resilient so that you can be happy and healthy.
Hello, I'm Clair Brown, economics professor at UC Berkeley and author of the book Buddhist Economics, How to Create an Equitable, Sustainable Future. So let's talk about our most critical problems of inequality and climate crisis. These go together, and we absolutely have to tackle both of them at the same time. When you have a long-term economy or a Buddhist-style economy, you basically realize that everyone is interdependent with each other and with the planet. And you also realize everything's impermanent and is constantly changing in a dynamic world. And we also know that people are compassionate as well as self-caring and want to reduce suffering globally. Human domination of our natural resources has been killing our planet. And so we must stop the human addiction to fossil fuel energy right away. We have very little time left to bring down carbon emissions and to start healing the earth. So the goal in a long-term economy is to actually support the good life for everyone, as well as support the health of the planet. And so we want to get rid of this idea of wasteful consumption. We want to stop having conspicuous consumption of the rich as something that people are striving for. Instead, we want to actually realize that we know buying more stuff does not make us happy. The neuroscientists and the psychologists have shown us this. So what does make us happy? We know that helping others makes us happy because the well-being of others is also our own well-being. And we know that caring for the planet also makes us happy as we enjoy nature and as we realize that the health of the planet is also affecting our health. So what's the role of government in all of this is what I've been studying. And we know that the government must ensure that the economy cares for the environment and provides basic goods and services to all people, and also structures markets to support public health and the well-being of everyone. Is it possible to create this kind of long-term economy? Yes, that's the good news. We have the Sustainable Shared Prosperity Policy Index created in my research team to show the national policies that can create this form of long-term economy that cares for people and the planet. So we know how to have sustainability, we know the policies for shared prosperity, reducing inequality. We also know the policies for well-being around the globe. We know this because of policies already in place. And we also have the roadmaps already provided to create carbon-free energy. And so we also know from the UN, the Millennium Development Goals, of how to reduce global suffering as people are fed, as girls and women are educated, and as we reduce not only starvation, but also poverty. So this SSPI ranks 50 countries around the world, and here are some of the answers. The top 6, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Finland, France, and Germany. But then Japan, Austria, UK, Australia are in the top 13. Italy is number 23. So it's right there in the middle. The US is even lower. The US doesn't even make the top 25. We're 31. Unfortunately for all countries, the sustainability pillar is the weakest pillar, and all countries around the world need to reduce carbon emission. It's too high, especially across the rich countries. The waste is also too high. Wasteful consumption must come down, and we must stop filling up landfills with stuff that we buy and don't really need. We also need to protect groundwater because our industrial agriculture is overusing fertilizers and water, and pretty soon we won't have adequate water. So we know these things. All we need to do is come together and use our shared vision. We know what's important to us. We know what makes us happy. We know how to care for each other and the planet. So let's come together with our shared vision of creating a meaningful life. We can work together to create change. Because as Thich Nhat Hanh tells us, our collective compassion, mindfulness, and concentration nourishes us, but it also can help to reestablish the Earth's equilibrium and restore balance. Together, we can bring about real transformation for ourselves and for the world. So come together and let's create the long-term economy that we need and we want.
The common good is that which benefits all society and the wider world. We are currently exceeding our planetary boundaries for sustainable living. We're stealing resources that belong to future generations to satiate ourselves. We have disconnected ourselves from the environment we live in, as if it is separate from us, a resource we can use and just throw away. We have forgotten that we are part of the environment. We are part of the whole. We are living beings in cohabitation with other sentient beings, and together we make up the ecosystem of our world. Everything we do has an impact, and to protect the fragile balance of the ecosystem, we need to wake up. We need to take responsibility and start looking ahead to understand the long-term consequences of our actions, for ourselves, for future generations, and for all life forms on this planet. For truly sustainable living, we need to consider our impact on this planet before material wealth. The economy for the common good is an international grassroots movement with committed people, companies, communities and organisations around the world. In order to measure an organisation's contribution to the common good, the ECG has developed a common good balance sheet. With this tool, companies, communities and educational institutions use a point-based system to examine to what extent the guiding values of human dignity, solidarity, social justice, environmental sustainability and co-determination are integrated into their day-to-day practices. The organisation's contribution to the common good becomes visible to all and can be used, for example, by consumers when making purchasing decisions. One of the demands of the economy for the common good is that organisations with a better score on their balance sheet pay lower taxes, receive better conditions on loans, or preferential treatment in public purchasing. The aim is to make the ecological, ethical and local products less expensive and more attractive. Our movement is working together with politicians, organisations, local communities and the public to determine how best these goals can be realised. Thousands of people have already joined the movement and are working together to create a more just world. If you want to contribute to the common good, you could switch to renewable energy sources in your home and at work, use public transport or an electric car. You could buy local organic produce, and when making purchases, choose ethical suppliers. There are many opportunities to contribute to the economy for the common good movement. You could become a member of the economy for the common good and join your local chapter. Visit ecogood.org. You can donate funds to the movement and you can volunteer with us. Volunteering within one of the international teams within the movement will enable you to contribute your energy, experience and skills directly towards the common good and make a direct difference. Thank you.